careful what you wish for because you just might get it. You wanted rivers. I There were a lot of choreography moments that stuck out to me, and that was where my mind was really, really intrigued. So I first of all loved everything with that building. Them struggling with the building was so cool. Her jumping in and out of frame was one of my favorite moments. I loved when she was helping him walk by leaning over him and pushing his knees. Uh, then I loved them sliding down the rocks. Looked so cool because it was a horizontal shot and it looked like they were sliding. That was choreo and I guess cinematography combined. It was so cool. Um, and then the camera whip from wherever they were into the water. First, I thought it was a different human, but then I realized it was him. So just that quick change, you're like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, and then bringing the water into it, and then throwing the sand everywhere. I love getting messy with dance, and so it was just striking.
Obviously, it opens with an image that makes you think that he might be carrying a dead body or someone that he hurt or is trying to save. I think the theme of pain, suffering, traveling in particular is obviously a big theme of the piece. It's interesting when it switches to the female performer as the one that is carrying him. And I think what I ended up feeling was an idea of relying on someone to navigate the world, relying on someone to navigate difficult spaces. It was a really good shot of them walking up some rocks that was great. In the house, the building in the middle of nowhere. That was pretty good. Reaching out to help each other. I think there's an idea of needing someone to help you when you're struggling, but also the piece transitions to an idea that, well, I felt at least that sometimes the person that's helping you isn't really helping you, and sometimes they might be the one hurting you or being the one that you're in conflict with. So as the piece ended up getting towards the end, and the characters ended up not together, not so tied together, I felt like it might have been a metaphor for finding yourself through a difficult relationship, or a theme about romance or navigating that kind of space.
Excellent use of lighting and landscapes, the use of a lot of natural light within this very wide picture helped this to stay very, very visually appealing. It looks outstanding. The dancing here is also used differently than it is in the other films. This is much more clearly telling a story, and the dancing feels like it's in service of that and not the other way around. In that way, it's less focused on the performance of the dance itself and more what that dance represents. As a result, I think the film sticks out quite a bit. Not in a bad way at all. I think that it's quite good, very enjoyable, very interesting, and visually fantastic.
It has this distinct narrative of this couple struggling through the desert looking for water. I think the theme of this is sort of looking at a relationship and these struggles and pitfalls and how each person in that relationship is struggling in their own way and they're supporting each other in some instances, and then in others they're the ones dragging each other down. You see them both carrying the other person at one point in the relationship, so we have this give and take, and they're both searching for something until in the very end she finally finds the water that she needs in someone new. And so I thought that was a very interesting take on the modern relationship and the push and pull that that brings.
First of all, the performers were just wonderful. Their movements and everything was just so off kilter and manneristic. Yeah, it was such an expressionist piece. You're wondering where they are, where they're going. Just you wanted rivers. It's a very powerful title. And they're trying to find it. The it's a very stark and beautiful opening with the windmills all around and then the desert scenery. And everything is photographed so very beautifully. When they come to rest at the end and you see her in the foreground and him on his knees in the background, it's a gorgeous shot. I just loved it. Wonderful moment and just wonderfully performed by the performers. They were great dancers and also great actors in this piece. You know, you really saw the struggle in their bodies and in their face and everything. And the music was very, very original and strange and beautiful, and really liked it a lot.
Loved how they moved. I loved how they kept going back for one another, or they kept moving with or for one another. And, you know, there's this connection between the two of them. But I loved how they moved as one in certain points, and how they were also just choreographed in other, like how they were in sync in others. But there was this kind of magnetism between the two of them that you never really felt like they were going to get that far from each other, and they were just going to keep on pushing each other through this journey, through this whatever journey they're on, but they're definitely on it together. How they kind of carry one another and really, you know, showed that in their dancing and in their movement. I thought it was beautiful. I loved the location. I thought that was phenomenal and fantastic. And I loved that they had different times of day that they filmed it at, because then you really did get to see so many different aspects and things that nature kind of offers us at different points.
It had like it was a simple story. It was mainly like a journey story. It almost felt like a post-apocalyptic movie. Transitions and scenes, the cuts were very smooth and not too jagged. I really got invested in the story of two people on this journey across a vast array of space and land.
Incredible display of filmmaking sensibility, of dance. The way the ultra wide frame really brings us into that world is great. But then also just all the camera movement and the music, the way they create this rising tension and all this drama from like almost nothing. It's really a brilliant display of filmmaking.